Hello, it's me again. So I'm back here to tell you how the MyMathLab works. So first thing, I need to go to the syllabus and get this course ID Perkins 99099. Okay, then just Google up MyMathLab. Of course, I was practicing before you got here, so just say MyMathLab, and Pearson is the company. So just go to that. And if you already have a MyMathLab account, you could sign in or put student access. Now when it says this LMS, just say no, and then it'll just take you to this. So you need the course ID, which I just copied from the syllabus, need an email address, and then a way to pay for it. Here's an important note. When you go to pay for it, if you don't have money at that point, or you're not ready to pay for it, then use temporary access and you'll be able to use it for 14 days for free. At 14 days, they will tell you you do need to pay for it now, and if it goes past 14 days, then they will freeze your account. They will unfreeze it when you pay for it, and your work will still be there. They will save it, so a lot of people use this temporary access. So you say, I'm ready to register. You then put that Perkins 99099 and then continue. Oh, it says that I'm not. Oh, it's because today is January 9th and class hasn't started yet. So anyway, when you do this, it's then just going to say, okay, you either need to pay for it, which is about $100, I believe, or you can go, if you have financial aid, you can go to the Hartnell bookstore and purchase it there using your financial aid. And then you would, on the next page, you would just type in the access code. Or on the next page, you would pay for it yourself if you're going to pay for it yourself. Okay, that's the registration part. Now let's do the actual math part. So now I can actually sign in. And there is Math 3A for the spring of 2025. And what I do is I just sort of ignore this home page and I just go to assignments. And then you'll see all the assignments are here for the whole semester. And like I said, when you look at the chapter 2 notes, it says section 2.1, secant lines and velocity. And when you look at the homework, section 2.1, secant lines and velocity. This time I spelled and correctly. So you can, all of the assignments are already in here with all of the due dates. So when you're ready to do the homework, you just click on that, and I can see that this one has 8 questions. One important thing, unlimited attempts. So if you don't get it right, you can try it again. And if you don't get it right, you can try it again until you get 100%. So when you are ready to do a question, you click on that. Notice that it has a pop-up. So you do have to allow pop-ups. Now, I use Chrome, so if it doesn't allow pop-ups, there would be over here on the upper right side, it would say blocking pop-ups, and I click on that and I say allow pop-ups from Pearson. So you do need to allow pop-ups. Okay, so here's the question. And so find the average rate of change. And if you look at the notes that I did for section 2.1, that's the very first thing that I covered. So very similar. So you would work that out and you would put your answer. And of course the answer is not going to be 56. I'm just making that up. And it says that's incorrect. And it gives you a little hint. You should use the slope formula. And then you get to try it again. So 56 wasn't right, so then you get to try it again. And you get unlimited attempts until you get it correct. Now if you look down here, there is Get More Help. And depending on what they have available, this might only have these 2 things, or there might be more things in here, depending on what Pearson has developed for this particular question. So you could go to the textbook and look at the actual textbook. And it'll just take you to that section of the textbook. So it takes you through the textbook, and then they of course have links and stuff like that. Sometimes they have links to videos, etc. So there's the textbook option. If you want to ask me, then say ask my instructor, and please, if you're going to ask me a question from the homework, please use ask my instructor, because these problems change. So if I were to reload this, it would change the numbers and change the problem. When you say ask my instructor, it's going to send me a copy of exactly what you were looking at, and then you can say, Mr. Perkins, I don't understand why there's a 7 in this problem. And then I can see what you were looking at and answer your question. Another great thing is view an example. So with view an example, what it's going to do is just change the numbers slightly and then take you through the process step by step, and it shows all of the steps. And when I use this, I'd say print, not because I want it to print, but because I don't like doing this step-by-step thing. I just want to see all of the steps. So when you tell it print, you can see all of the steps. Or if you like doing the step-by-step, you can do that as well. So it's going to take you through all of the parts, and then when you're done, it then gives you this problem back. It's basically the same work, but the numbers are slightly different. All right, so that's something that is definitely very helpful. Help Me Solve This is basically the same thing, but they use these numbers when you say help me solve this, and then once you've gone through help me solve it, then it's going to change the numbers. So it's not going to be exactly the same, but it'll be very similar. All right. Then, if you look at assignments, so there's also quizzes. So if you look at our schedule and you go to the syllabus and look at the due dates, then on Mondays, there's either going to be a problem set that's due on a Monday, or there's going to be a quiz for MyMathLab on a Monday. So Mondays will sort of alternate between quizzes and problem sets. All right, when it comes time for a quiz, you could use your notes. And in fact, while you're doing your homework, if you just label the problems, your work neatly, then these questions come from the homework. They're just going to change the numbers, but they're basically going to be the same. So you do get to use your notes, and you do get 2 attempts. So when I made these up, I made these up so they would last about an hour. And that's not me predicting, that's Pearson, basically with the thousands and hundreds of thousands of students that have used these problems. They can show me, oh, on average, people spend 1.7 minutes on this question. And as I make them up, then once it gets to be right about an hour for the quiz, I say, okay, that's enough questions. We're not going past an hour. So it might take about an hour. Of course, some people work a little faster, some a little slower, but on average, it should take about an hour to do the quiz. When you finish, if you're not happy with your grade, you're like, oh, I got an 89. I really wanted to get an A. You can retake it. When you're doing the quiz, I set it up so that you can walk away, but once you open a question, you do have to finish it. So if you are doing the quiz and you're done with number 1, and with this, it's just going to say go on to the next one. So when you're done with that one, then you could take a break, you could close it, you could come back, and when you open it, it's then going to open on question number 2. So you could just go straight through and do all 30 questions in about an hour. Or if somewhere you want to take a break, you can, but you do need to finish whatever question you're on, because whenever you come back, it's going to take you to the next question. And then when you're done, you say submit quiz. And if you look at these questions right here, the one from the homework said 3x cubed plus 3. Now this one says 10x cubed plus 10. So they're getting the questions from the same place where the homework comes from. They just changed the numbers. Okay, one other thing that I wanted to show you, if you go to the video and resource library, so I like this because you can basically say, all right, we're working on Chapter 2, Section 2.2. And then you say, look at everything that you have available. And then they'll basically show you for that section, here's everything that they've made. There's interactive figures, there's PowerPoints, there's the textbook, there's these videos, either the whole 35-minute video or shorter videos for specific ideas. All right, so that's about it for the MyMathLab. Again, everything is here. If you just click on assignments, everything is here for the whole semester with the due dates on the side. And they are always due at 11:59, the end of that particular night. All right, so please let me know if you have any questions, and have a great day.